The screaming fans you are about to hear say it all. LA Galaxy fans electrified the Tom Bradley terminal as Javier El Chicharito Hernandez touchdown at LAX.
Plenty of excited Galaxy fans at LAX last night, welcoming the newest member of the team, Javier Chicharito Hernandez. The striker recently signed a 3-year deal worth $18 million with the Galaxy.
On Tuesday, January 21st, 2020, LA Galaxy announced a new $9 million striker that would fill the boots of ageless wonder Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Javier Chicharito Hernandez, the all-time highest scorer for the Mexican national team, would become the highest paid player in the MLS 2020 season. But before we find out how that story played out, we should find out how the little P got to this point. At just 15 years old, the boy born in Guadalajara signed his first professional contract with Guadalajara. Chicharito would make his first appearance for the first team in 2006 and play there until one of the biggest clubs in the world at the time would find him in 2009. A Manchester United scout discovered Chicharito after watching multiple games of his in Mexico. And due to the World Cup in the coming year, and the potential spotlight that may put on the future star, Manchester United quickly sealed a deal for him in April of 2010, making him the first Mexican player to join the team. In his first year at Old Trafford, under the leadership of Sir Alex Ferguson, Chicharito found himself playing some of the best football he would in his long career.
Chicharito! More Mexican magic from Chicharito!
In his first season, not only did he become the highest scoring Mexican player in Premier League history, but he also was the first player to score 20 goals in all competitions in his debut season since Ruud van Nistelrooy in 2002. Manchester United would go on to win the Premier League in that season. Javier also found himself as the nominee for the PFA Player of the Year, which would eventually be won that season by 19-year-old Jack Wilshere. At the same time, LA Galaxy were in the process of continuing their identity of bringing foreign talents from Europe to come in and compete in the MLS. They had just signed Manchester United legend David Beckham from Real Madrid 2 years prior, and were looking to bring in Irish international Robbie Keane. Going into his second season, fans had high hopes for Chicharito to continue improving his form and cement his place into the Manchester United first team. But after suffering a minor concussion in preseason and ankle ligament damage shortly after, Javier Hernandez found himself beginning to struggle and only achieving 12 goals in all competitions. The following season saw a new star join the Red Devils in Robin van Persie. Sir Alex Ferguson brought in some new firepower to help the versatility of the United attack.
Here he is again, Chicharito. Can you find someone?
Chicharito performed well competing with Van Persie, but this would end up being the last year seeing him score many goals in the famous red jersey. Over the next summer, one huge change occurred in the retirement of Sir Alex Ferguson. David Moyes took over and was sacked that season with 4 games remaining. The team finished in 7th place and did not qualify for a European spot for the first time since the 89-90 season. Louis van Gaal was appointed manager for the next season and had Chicharito loaned out to Real Madrid with an option to buy for the 14-15 league campaign. After a lackluster season at the Bernabeu, scoring 9 goals in 33 appearances, Real Madrid decided not to make the loan move permanent. Chicharito returned to United requesting a move away, but this time permanently. Bayer Leverkusen announced the signing of the former United and Madrid man for a reported fee around $10 million. Current Leverkusen manager at the time, Jonas Bolt, told reporters in an interview that Chicharito told him he wanted to leave because Van Gaal did not play him. Chicharito's play style complemented Leverkusen's, and he performed exceptionally well. After 2 seasons and 76 appearances, Chicharito scored 39 goals, and looked to regain his confidence. He also claimed the spot for the most appearances by a Mexican in the UEFA Champions League.
And their Mexican maestro, Chicharito.
And at 29 years old, he was tempted back to England for the 17-18 season, but this time for the claret and sky blue of West Ham United. He would go on to score 16 goals in 55 appearances. Eventually, he found himself joining Spanish side Sevilla in January of 2019. But in Sevilla, Chicharito remained mostly on the bench and only scored 3 goals in 15 appearances. Just 6 months earlier from Chicharito joining Sevilla, LA Galaxy signed Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan, being the personality he is, made a huge impression on the American audience as well as the MLS. Zlatan turned up and scored an impressive 50 goals in 2 seasons. Scoring so many goals in such a short time, Zlatan was still not able to help LA Galaxy reach an MLS Cup. He failed to bring any silverware to a Galaxy side that had not won an MLS Cup since the 2014 season. As Zlatan departed for AC Milan, the Galaxy were looking for a new star to take their team by storm and get them closer to reliving MLS Cup glory. Because of Los Angeles' large Latino population, signing one of the most famous Mexican internationals made perfect sense for the team and the supporters. Not only was the plan to help the team on the field, but also to help regain some attention from crosstown rivals LAFC and Mexican superstar Carlos Vela. Chicharito came to MLS with tons of pressure to perform, and like most foreign stars who arrive in LA, he was given a celebrity welcome. He featured on multiple late-night shows including Jimmy Kimmel Live and The Late Night Show with James Corden. There was tons of buzz surrounding the name Chicharito. Through all the media, Chicharito was consistent with his goals.
I came to fill his boots. What I came here is to win a championship, and that's it.
As easy as that. Chicharito wins a championship, it's good.
Of course. That will be like us say, job done for the first year, then let's go for the second one, because that means I did my part to win a championship. Because as you can see, even that Zlatan did what he did, sometimes the team is always important to win things. The team, even that he break records and like he said, he doesn't compare like humans because he's a lion and it could be true or not. The team always, and you play the sport, we need to win championship. It doesn't matter if I score 50 goals or I score 10, if I do good performances, if I do my part for a team and we win championship, I think all of us will say, well done, good job done.
The 25th season of MLS started in Houston for the LA Galaxy. Chicharito failed to have any impact on a game that ended in a 1-1 draw. Questions were asked about not only Chicharito, but the whole team after such a bad performance. But the next match on March 7th, the Galaxy had their home opener against one of the projected worst teams in the Western Conference. This was a chance for Chicharito to announce his arrival on the Los Angeles community. But once again, an even worse team performance led to a shocking 1-0 loss to the Vancouver Whitecaps, and Chicharito failed to have a shot on target in both of his first 2 games. After the game, with frustration, Chicharito refused to attend any press conferences. Not the best start for the highest paid player in the league. But a bad situation got even worse, as 5 days later, the coronavirus pandemic suspended the MLS season as well as all sports worldwide for months. And for Chicharito, life got even harder. About a month into the suspension of the season, Tomás Balcázar, grandfather of Javier, passed away at 88 years old. Due to the COVID-19 travel restrictions, Javier was not able to go back home to attend the memorial services. Chicharito said in an interview for the Los Angeles Times that it was the first time he experienced the death of someone so close to him, and that it affected him in different ways. 4 months after the suspension of the MLS season, they announced their return with the MLS Is Back tournament in Orlando. Chicharito returned to training overweight and in very poor shape, but he would still participate in the tournament. The Galaxy were drawn in a group with the Portland Timbers, the Houston Dynamo, and rivals LAFC. After 4 months of questions, this was the perfect opportunity for Chicharito to answer his critics. Everything seemed to be going great when 11 minutes into the first game of the group stage, LA Galaxy were given a penalty from a handball. There was only one player that was going to take that penalty. And of course, it was lethal goal scorer Javier Chicharito Hernandez.
Could this be Chicharito's moment to get his first LA Galaxy goal? No, it's saved! The rebound! Covered up!
I remember watching this game and thinking this is where Chicharito would finally show up in the MLS. But after he missed the penalty, all I could do was sit and watch as he fumbled into the goal. LA Galaxy would then find themselves down by 2 goals going into the final 10 minutes. But there was some light though, as in the 88th minute, Chicharito scored the most Chicharito goal possible and finished off the ball played across the 6. Finally, he was off in the MLS. LA would still go on to lose that game though, and they would actually go on to lose all 3 group stage games. But Chicharito only played in that first one due to a calf injury in training. This injury sidelined the Mexican for 2 months. After returning from injury, Chicharito failed to gain back a solid starting role, and after all the off-field drama surrounding him, his wife and his 2 kids went back home to Australia. Not only did the Galaxy not make it close to winning an MLS Cup, but they also failed to qualify for the playoffs for the 3rd time in 4 years. Chicharito finished his debut season with only 2 goals in 12 appearances, one of his worst seasons since his beginnings in Mexico. Chicharito and the Galaxy ended in 10th place in the West with only 6 wins from 22 games played. After the season, Chicharito opened up about his first year with the Galaxy and was very honest in his assessment. He told Kevin Baxter of the Los Angeles Times that he touched rock bottom. "I lived through things you normally live through in 5-10 years. It's not an excuse, it's reality. And the reality is, I didn't take responsibility. I wasn't able to handle all of that." Chicharito said when the season ended, he dissected every part of his life to be able to rebound better than ever. He apologized to former head coach Guillermo Barros Schelotto and took responsibility for his sacking at the end of the season. Javier Hernandez said he takes full responsibility and guarantees he will do anything in his power to help repay the debt he owes the Galaxy family. He is currently working with a nutritionist, a trainer, and someone he refers to as his emotional coach in order to help him along this process. Although Chicharito was an integral part of the Galaxy's poor season, many pundits say that it's not all Chicharito's fault. There's a lot more that the Galaxy need to fix than just Chicharito regaining his form. Zlatan was a different player, someone who could shoot from anywhere and have a good chance of getting a goal. He could create chances from nothing, but Javier is not that type of player. For him to succeed in this team, the Galaxy will need to find players who can support his movement and his run.
Chicharito with a chance. Not going to miss that. He's never going to miss that.
Chicharito knows where to make runs and how to finish. He just needs players that are able to find him in the box. So after hearing the story of Chicharito, what do you think? Do you think he deserves a pass for 2020? And do you think he'll be able to succeed in the 2021 season? How much responsibility does Chicharito hold for the failure of the 2020 season? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video.